Yeah, so I wake up this morning and I see a message, and it's Access Rattblood. Are you here, Rattblood?
Access Squaler. Access Squaler. Access Squaler. Access Squaler.
And then you got people like Access, and then you got people like Access, and then you got people like Access.
I'm Access fucking Rattblood.
Access Rattblood, I see. All these Access people, I'm starting to get paranoid about that now. I don't know what to do about it.
And then you got people like Access, and then you got people like Access, and then you got people like Access.
Are you here, Rattblood?
I'm Access fucking Rattblood.
Access Squaler.
Most abundant and successful king hero that we are all sitting with at this very moment. Are you willing to accept that as a truth? That you are a worthy man and that your penis is okay?
All these Access people, I'm starting to get paranoid about that now. All these Access people, I'm starting to get paranoid about that now.
Are you here, Rattblood? I'll just start throwing spells at you, conjuring demons and otherwise. Are you here, Rattblood? I'll just start throwing spells at you, conjuring demons and otherwise. Are you here, Rattblood? I'll just start throwing spells at you, conjuring demons and otherwise. Are you here, Rattblood?
Who the fuck is Access Rattblood?
I'm Access fucking Rattblood, bitch.
All these Access people, I'm starting to get paranoid about that now. I don't know what to do about it.
I'm Access fucking Rattblood. Hello, friends and enemies of YouTube, children of the metaverse. It is the Axis. I would like to thank some of my heroes throughout the years. Albert Fish, John Wayne Gacy, Randy Ramez, gotta give it to the king, Charles Manson, and many other lovely characters who have enthralled my life with much intrigue. And let's not forget who inspires most. Satan himself. Tonight is a one year anniversary to a less than fortunate happening in my small and pathetic life that made a very traumatic and impactful statement upon me. And since this is the anniversary, I suppose I'll give credit where credit is due. And as I get my cigarette and my medication and my coffee, here's a recent little ditty that got under their skins.
A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear. You need to be told what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. But necessarily my truth might not be everyone else's truth. So what's truth? You know? I say my truth or truth, but like I said, my truth might not be someone else's truth. Then I start to question, so what's truth? A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear. You need to be told what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
If some of these platforms, because there's many channels here, and a lot of them actually do, if people were honest when they're coming onto panels or chat, if they don't want to be honest with themselves, they want to tear down other people to disguise themselves. So what I get from that is people are insecure by using a false sense of security to mask. They're not actually, they actually ever challenge themselves. What would that look like? Of course, they'll be thinking, well, what about you? I said, there you go again. You're deflecting at that point. It's about you. If it's always about you, then make it about you. Be the best me can be there. Be the most selfish person you can be. So my question would be, why are you living with the rest of us?
A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear. You need to be told what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
We don't consider each other. That's why most people are not rationally selfish. They're too busy being fucking selfish.
So what's truth? You know? I say my truth or truth, but like I said, my truth might not be someone else's truth. Then I start to question, so what's truth? A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear.
We don't consider each other. That's why most people are not rationally selfish. They're too busy being fucking selfish.
A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear. You need to be told what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
We don't consider each other. That's why most people are not rationally selfish. They're too busy being fucking selfish.
A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear. You need to be told what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Because it doesn't serve them to, I'm going to sit there and hear them and say, okay, so should I tell them that they're caught up in their own world? I'm just going to replace myself. Axis, you can take over for a while. It's your shift.
All right, and for those of you that can't seem to comprehend or understand me, I suggest placing a 9-volt battery in your anus with 2 lead wires strapped to each testicle or labia for better transmission of my information against the EOS and 60-cycle ratio hum and various other frequencies and noises. And once you have done this, I will definitely complete some of my more esteemed inspirers. Jack the Ripper, Jeffrey Dahmer, H.H. Holmes, Ted Bundy. The list is never ending. There's such a incredible amount of role models to follow. that have left us wonderful memories. Tonight we will be indulging into the esoteric Kabbalah for Dummies, and we will be applying this to the xenology of commercial electricity and the installation of such. I would like for you to keep a Bible, preferably a more recent one, NIV, nothing against King James, but I think it's a little pretentious. Just in case you falter and your mind snaps back into reality after taking a psychotic walk with me, and you need to reaffirm your faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. And let's see where we can start this sermon off at for a deeper esoteric knowledge. And for those of you who have already figured out looping and the general YouTuber, this should be no problem for you. So we're going to start on chapter 13 because really, I mean, front of the book's for beginners, and if you don't have that down, you probably don't need it. So just skip that. Go on to chapter 13. And we want to go to the understanding of commercial electrics and the delusion of self-importance. It says here, just be important to yourself. I'm not sure if I agree with that. But who am I to say? It's written in this book. It seems to make sense. And if it falters, you can always resort to your Bible. Like I said, I do not prefer the King James. It's pretentious. Let's see here. Chapter 13. I really want to get to the 33rd chapter. Is what I'd really like to make it to, but I'm not sure that we're going to get there because I don't think that you guys are going to be able to withstand the bombardment of electromagnetic frequencies and the Wi-Fi and the cellular signals that are turning your hair gray. Yes, this is the reason and the cause of gray hair. So be sure that even after tonight's show, to leave the 9-volt battery firmly placed into your anus with lead wires to the testicles or the labia, and it's kind of hard for me to say, something about that body part that just seems impure. But anyhow, let's see this chapter. Death is not your friend or enemy. It's when you open the door for death, death rarely shows up. Now, I can venture to say, upon not only reaching the threshold of such a place, I have allowed myself to disassociate from what those would be considering the spirit or the breath, and well, I'm still here, so we know that chapter's bullshit, and we can just throw that off to the side because nobody needs to hear it. Let's see. Next chapter. Those who reveal their boundaries. Those who reveal their boundaries are within the realms of measurement, and they are measured by their safety protocols, which will give you a direct measurement of the depth in which they are capable of deep thought. Well, I don't think we're going to find much of that here tonight, so we'll just skip that chapter too. I expect maybe a percentage of you would want to deal with such a subject. Let's see what else we got in this book. Are you a parasite? The Earth would say yes. Greedy parasite that wants to feed, but it doesn't want anything feeding on it. Oh, it doesn't seem like a fair exchange. Maybe we should move past that chapter too. Really finding the correlation between commercial electricity and the Kabbalions for dummies to be anywhere near what I thought they would be in comparison. Anyhow, let's see. Oh, you are all intruders in other people's world, some more so than others. Now, this is quite possible and highly potential, unless you are an introspective person and generally keep your opinionated ass to yourself. I could see that. Now, let's figure out how that applies to commercial electricity. We have a shaman of electrical wiring who understands conductivity and the nature of positive and negative and ground. And they approach their job with an artistic endeavor, such forth as a Zen master. And you would be the fucking intruder because you keep taking his tools, you get in his way, you're clipping off too much wire to throw in the back of your truck to take to the salvage yard. You even took a sandwich out of his lunchbox. I mean, come on, really? You know? I mean, quit interloping on the commercial electrician. Please. Let's see what else is in this particular chapter here. This will probably maybe apply to commercial electricity and the Kabbalion and Zen. The truly wise don't do social media unless they are entertainers who need a cheap audience. How do we apply that to a state of Zen and the Kabbalion? Let's see. One, I suppose, as a Kabbalion aspect, would be being truly wise. The Zen part would probably being to know the differences whether you belong on social media. Are you the entertainer? And are you aspiring for a cheap audience to fulfill your Zen-like desires? Only the masters will know. Let's see here. This is a subsection. Okay, this one could apply. This one might apply. Chat rooms are easy places to troll for willing souls. Let's think about that. Does someone in the mystery schools concern themselves with someone else's soul? Does the perfect Zen-like state require someone else's soul? Well, I'm just not seeing a correlation there. You might want to check your Bible on that one. And remember, not the King James, it is pretentious. NIV, I'm cool. But this is only for those of you who have fallen into a state of doubt and have already reached your point of safety protocol. And if you have reached your state of safety protocol in this portion of the show, I prefer that you, and this is just a suggestion, remove the 9-volt battery from your anus, test it on your tongue, make sure it still has a charge, and if it does not, replace as needed so that we can continue having an understanding of each other. And I'll give you a moment to do that while I play a sweet little ditty. And not a P ditty. We don't play like that.
himself between the scenes of cold reality and those of pure illusion. Each of you must distinguish for himself between the scenes of cold reality and those of pure illusion. Each of you must distinguish for himself between the scenes of cold reality and those of pure illusion. Each of you must distinguish for himself between the scenes of cold reality and those of pure illusion.
Okay, then, that should have been plenty enough time for you to have tested the battery and reconnected the lead wires. And I suggest for any type of other interference in our communication, you firmly ground your tongue to a lead wire or something metal that is grounded. It brings in much better reception, and it also decreases old age, from what I understand. Now, like I said, this is an auspicious night, so we're going to go for some big numbers here. Elizabeth Bathory, between 100 and 200 female girls, in which she split apart above a bathing pool to retain her youth. Everyone must really give her some credit for endeavoring into youthful and a wonderful complexion. We have Pedro Lopez. He killed 110, possibly more, but they are undiscovered. Sometimes that happens. United Kingdom, Dr. Harold Shipman, 215 victims. Henry Lee Lucas, and this is on the low end, but you know, we got to give Henry Lee Lucas credit for being who he is. He only killed 11, possibly more. John Wesley Hardin, a particularly older gentleman from back in the Wild West days, and he has a mere 10 victims. Fairly worth mentioning, highly outdated, probably overrated, but you can run into that. Let's see here. Randy Stephen Kraft. Well, this one's an interesting morsel that I've overlooked along the way somewhere. And he's got a particularly small body count, but still, you know, 16. That's a fledgling. That's somebody who's getting started. But had he been a little more professional in it, he might have pushed the 30 to 36 range. You know, like our buddy Bundy. And we'll do one more. Another cliche common, the Zodiac Killer. But hold on. Before you diss him, remember, he fucked with the police and he sent them letters, notes, and even directed them how to respond. Though his killing count was between 5 to 37, undetermined, the Zodiac Killer still holds a place in our hearts and our memories. Now, back to commercial electricity, Kabbalion for Dummies, and this chapter could be a little controversial, but we're going to endeavor. We're going to trust that you are mature adults out there and can handle the reality that this book is only a book. It is not, nor am I suggesting that you do anything. These are just philosophical and mystery school philosophies. Some people should die because I'm trying to get ahead in the line. Now, let's apply that to Kabbalah. Advancement, forward movement, removing dead weight, applies there. Let's check out the Zen of it. The Zen of it seems to say, whatever gets you closer to your point of enlightenment. Hey, I think we have a match here. I think we got one. Let's see. Let's go on down to the next paragraph. This is a chapter on being a guru for perfect failure. I think everybody's quite capable of that on their own, and if not, well, do not attend a school nor any higher learning academy or social endeavor. You do not want to break your perfectly record of being a failure. And especially, hold on, I almost forgot. How does that apply to the Cabal? The Cabalion? Perfect failure is what 99.9% will achieve with the Cabalion, and that's almost perfect failure. And with Zen, I suppose perfect failure could be a state of Zen, achieving the greatest perfection of failure, and how that applies to commercial electricity. Let's see, could result in fire damage, electrical hazards, loss of life, and break or box fires. I don't know what they're even talking about. We'll go on. Now this one goes a little bit into the Karma Sutra. So prepare yourselves. Put on your adult panties. Buckle yourself in. And prepare to be an adult for a moment and understand. This is just a philosophy. It is said you can only break a dick when it's hard. You ponder that for a moment. Let's see, how does that apply to the Cabal? Here's how it applies to the Cabalion. You must be in a certain mental state to achieve the potential for a stiff stick to get broken, and applying that to Zen would be obtaining the art of the perfect broken dick. Now, we'll apply that to commercial electricity, and that would be, don't be a dick or you're going to get your dick broke. Hey, this one hit all three categories. I'm loving it. Finally. Now, oh, hold on. I must, on this auspicious day, say hello to my guest. Excuse me for being so rude, but we are serving a particularly genetic-oriented type of biological food in the green room. I hope you enjoy it if you go back there. And I would like to say, Tab, you're always a welcome guest. And Domenico, who happens to be a Zen master at commercial electricity and also has the Cabalion for Dummies. Therefore, he is an astute student. Please pay attention, for if he joins us, we are going to be graced by one of life's greatest students who has endeavored through the art of commercial electricity as it applies to Zen and the Cabalion. And like I said, if this becomes a little too deep, resort to your Bible, not the King James, pretentious, preferably the NIV, or something even more recent. let's go on to the next chapter in this book. It says, speaking emoji, why waste words? Now let's ponder that. Speaking emoji, why waste words? How does that apply to the cabal? Symbology. Symbology is applied to the cabal. Now, let's see how that applies to the state of Zen and commercial electricity. Maybe an electric lightning bolt. Maybe some type of insignia with colors. Maybe wires with lines. Maybe there's a state of Zen in knowing how to know which is which and what is what and why it is. And there is your blissful state of Zen. Made another match. Just telling you, there is a common thread somewhere along the line that holds all this together. Now, I'm not sure if it's linked by some strange, bizarre mycelium network of fungi, but so far we've done pretty good in correlating all three. Let's try next chapter down. Profound stupidity is still stupid. Now, we must apply this to the Kabbalion. Okay, profound. And we'll just consider stupidity being your level of understanding of the Kabbalion. And it still makes you stupid. Makes sense to me. Now, let's try to adapt this to Zen and commercial electricity. Profoundly stupid is still stupid. Well, I suppose if you're a ditch digger or a roofer and you decide to endeavor into the higher levels of commercial electricity, that could potentially profoundly make you stupid. And there it is, another connection. I'm completely overwhelmed. I'm going to have to take a break for a moment. I had no idea that there was this much similarity in such things as the Kabbalion, Zen, and commercial electricity. So my nerves are shattered, and I'm going to get me a refreshment, smoke a cigarette, calm myself down, because this has really got me shook, talking this esoteric stuff. I'll play a small ditty, and I will return with another glimpse at some of my more personal heroes and inspiring individuals. we're back, and I see we have one of our friends here from Canada. Yeah, he says he has to get his arm floaters if we're being led to the deep end of the pool of what's that? Emotions. Uh, if somebody out there could fill me on what this word emotions, I think it's spelled emotions, whatever that may mean. If somebody in the chat could let me know what that word means, I would much appreciate it. I have no concept, but I do have some particular individuals from Canada, though they are far fewer than in America. We will, for our Canadian friends, give them their place and time in this auspicious day. Peter Woodcock. No wonder he killed people. I'm sorry. Canada. Yeah, well, his death count is really low. I mean, 4 people? Really? 4? Come on. Robert Picton. 6 to 49. Now, this bothers me. How do you determine, and me not being from Canada, so I don't know the math, this Robert Picton apparently killed between 6 and 49 plus people. I may need to break out a calculator for this. I'm not sure. It is quite possible. Stranger things have happened. And definitely want to, which you would think these guys, okay, they got a couple numbers here. We got friends from Australia that occasionally peek into the channel. John Wayne Glover, Australia, 12 people firm. Well, he was on a good start. Ivan Mallet, 7 confirmed. Australia's strict. Boy, they like to cut the numbers short. There isn't even a potential for an error in correction of killings. These guys are on the ball. Christopher Worrell, Australia, fledgling killer of 7. And James Miller of Australia, 6. 6 confirmed kills, which all seem very fledgling to me and a bit amateurish compared to such wonders and greats as Elizabeth Bathory, Albert Fish, such forth, Dahmer, Casey. Okay, enough with the hero worship. I've got to try and return to some type of state of metaphysical continuity before I completely lose myself in my own insanity. The greatest word ever spoken on YouTube was alakablam. This is a subchapter, and this is the 3rd paragraph. Alakablam. Alakablam. Oh! Now, my Kabbalah for Dummies is paying off. Alakablam. The sound that a shotgun makes. That is the particular sound that was legendarily placed into our pop culture history as the sound of a magically firing, on its own admission, shotgun. Apparently, this has happened to people on many different occasions. It seems to be a Kabbalion mystery. I'm not sure. Um, I can see how that could be mystery school teachings because I have no idea how one endeavors into that. As far as Zen, just the word alakablam, the art of Zen and alakablam. Just got a catchy ring to it. It means shit though. Now, how does that apply to commercial electricity? You fucked up my wiring, my house burnt down, so alakablam. Got it. Got it. Hey, you know, 2 out of 3, 1 push. It's all good. It's all good. We're going to go here. Let's move a couple of chapters forward, and they're probably not needed anyhow. You know, this is esoteric and mystery school teachings, and not worried about the details. I don't think anybody should if they're truly studying it. Rapid fire fuckery. Oh, rapid fire fuckery. And then there's a sub in quotations. Everywhere, it must be a time of war. Okay, so let's put that together. Rapid fire fuckery everywhere, it must be a time of war. How does that apply to the Cabal? I'm drawing a blank on it. Maybe someone in the chat throw me a bone. Give me something to work with here. Let's try it in Zen. Let's see if it applies to Zen and commercial electricity. Zen, becoming the most efficient state of Zen of rapid fire fuckery that one can achieve. Yes! And for the commercial electrician, rapid fire fuckery is when the wire bites you. That would be considered rapid fire fuckery. So, once again, 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3. Let's check out a few more little paragraphs in this this book here. And okay, this chapter is measure the volume of air you're breathing. You might be taking more than your share. Now that's the subject we need to cover. How much air and at what degree does it have to be to speak Kabbalion? I'm going to say that anything less than 110 degrees, maybe 120, you're not even close to being able to speak Kabbalion. And I'm going to say that the 96, 97 heat range, you're just you're probably shit out of luck. But it does apply, and it does have measurement because it does require you breathing while, well, I suppose you could read to yourself, but then that's a lost art now, isn't it? Maybe that's why it's in the mystery schools. Now, how does that apply to Zen? Measuring the volume of air you're breathing, you might be taking more than your share. Controlled breathing at a state in which you have become proficient at breathing air without infringing on anyone else's air. So that could be a Zen state. That could definitely apply to Zen. Let's see how that applies to electricity. Let's see. Commercial electrician. I hear, but can't prove, talk a lot of shit. So we'll consider that since you're a commercial electrician is a shit talker, he's probably taking up much more air than he deserves, and he's probably stealing your air. So be aware of this. I didn't write the rules. I'm just reading them. Hello, fellow guests. How are you?
Real good, sir. Good, sir. How about yourself?
I've seen worse days and much worse days. Is there something you have to add to our wonderful topic tonight of Kabbalion for Dummies, the state of Zen, and commercial electricity?
No, I don't know much about those kinds of things. I just came up to say hi. I apologize if I interrupted something and didn't come
Oh,
prepared.
no, not at all.
Okay.
No, you're absolutely fine.
All right, cool.
Doors open. To fill you in, we've been going over the concepts of the Kabbalion for Dummies, a esoteric deep dive into mystery school teachings and the metaphysics, and we have been applying that to the state of Zen and commercial electricity and how they three combine themselves into one common thread, and some do not. And also, we have been keeping up on this auspicious day with some of my most favorite and beloved role models, serial killers throughout the year. Not this year, many years.
Oh, okay. You like their tenacity and their discipline, the serial killers?
Actually, I like their just grit, drive to endeavor to fulfill that need of one's hedonistic drive and desire. It's just inspiring to me that one would go to such lengths to fulfill such a hedonistic need. I'm loving it. I mean, these guys just, it's never ending. And they're so inspiring and inventive, creative. One of them from Russia, he's just absolutely a genius. I mean, he might as well have been considered an artist. Not quite as good as Albert Fish, but still, he was good.
Yeah, one of the best, in my opinion, was Jeffrey Dahmer.
Dahmer, yes, he was quite the interesting one. He did not live far from me, and he, from my understanding and from what the media had claimed, was consuming his victims. I don't know about that, but I do know that he was a decent-looking young man. Uh, apparently, he didn't cause any trouble that I know of until some little jerk off, I suppose, felt intimidated and got away. But that happens, you know. But, you know, with someone like Dahmer, you would figure he would have been experienced enough to have known that they slip up that way. After a bit, just like a good artist, it's that single brushstroke that could have made it a masterpiece that they leave out.
Yeah. He was great at what he did, you know, as far as the things he did, he was great at. I'm not saying what he did was good, but what he did, he was great at it, you know. So
Well,
on that level,
yeah,
you know.
absolutely. I thought Gacy was interesting. I mean, you know, you got to consider it kind of creative. You're dressed up as a clown, hanging out with little kids, and in the meantime, you have a four rafters that are filled with dead bodies, and you get away with it for quite some time. The FBI did follow him around quite a bit, and they had enough on him, but they played him out. So I'm not sure. Didn't know if he couldn't smell him or whether he just got lazy. But needless to say, inventive with the clown get up and all. That's yes.
Yeah, I don't know what made him trip up or what he started messing up on. Didn't really look too much into him. I just know that you know, he'd do things to people, you know, and he had like a pattern, and you know, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if he got lazy or overwhelmed, got tired of it, whatever his trip was, you know.
It seems I have noticed that like the BTK killer who after all those years of getting away with his craft and his art would ironically get caught by using a computer at a church he attends. That one just was screaming, "Catch me." I mean, if that was not a desperation plea for here I am, you know. But
Yeah,
maybe there's something about a guilt complex that comes with extensive killings.
I mean, come on, everybody knows that. I mean, do I need to say this? If you, oh god, okay, if you're gonna do something, you'd rather not, you'd rather keep private. Let's say you get a burner phone and use a private IP and use it only one time, then you destroy that burner phone when you're done. That's it, and you get a prepaid burner phone. Do I have to tell people this? Come on, man.
Oh,
Come on, man.
I
Like, think, guys. Like, what are these people thinking? Are they thinking? Like you said, he
I
probably wanted to get caught. You know?
that's what yeah, that's what I'm seeing that. I mean, you know, even the whole and you got to admit in some forms even though he did not commit a murder, Uncle Charlie, you know, it almost seemed as if he had just got tired of doing LSD and having sex with multiple chicks and living in a desert ranch. Sex. He had
Yeah,
it made.
that would drive a man crazy. You know, doing a bunch of LSD and just being like that eventually. If you do it enough, you know. You know.
Oh yeah,
So,
I mean, you
I mean,
you fuck your brains out. You're gonna do
LSD
something
serious.
stupid.
LSD is like you gotta have some guts, hardcore guts to do LSD, man. That's no joke, you know.
Well, I'm not sure. I usually put it in my cereal milk and stir it around. And I like my cereal soggy so that the LSD sinks in and kind of absorbs into the cereal every morning. And that's generally the way I start my day. Um,
Did you do like
with
a
the
low dose, or
varieties.
medium dose, or high dose, or?
Well, I started out, it was just a couple blotters, white blotter. Then, I found sugar cube, and I found that the sugar cube just absolutely worked with like non-sugared cereals. And man, I really, excess, 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 but I did it. I do it, and I continue forward and have not missed a day in 30 years.
Wait, whoa, dude, whoa. So okay, so like, whoa. I mean, so you know something about this, that's for sure. I mean, sheesh, wow. I know that's an understatement, but come on. I mean, just like, wow. I mean, how do you maintain your sanity, man? It's like,
Heroin.
oh, okay, gotcha.
Excessive doses of heroin. Yes. Yeah. Generally, about 20 minutes after I eat my cereal, I indulge in a bit of the old coffee and continue on my day. While I do not advocate drugs on this channel, nor do I expect anyone to follow or do anything that I do. This is at my own risk and entertainment. So, and then, at least 8 to 10 blunts a day. And if I start really getting depressed, line or two of the old coca plant, and I'm doing all right. Pretty smooth for the day.
Yeah, I wonder how cocaine tea, the same tree that's used for cocaine. If you they say if you boil those leaves or whatever, you can make a nice potent tea that's not really dangerous. And I'm not advocating that. Cocaine.
Oh,
Cocaine leaves
this,
not the same as cocaine.
yeah, this is all, just hypothetically speaking, if we were to ever indulge in such things, or if anyone was to, not that we advocate it, but it is a potential that people may do such things. So this is for entertainment. Yeah, it's seems like a waste to me to put the coca leaf in water, but I prefer ether or diesel.
Ah, okay. Extraction method, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Makes for a much better product. And as far as, those pussies that do DMT and ayahuasca and peyote, one day they'll grow up.
Ayahuasca, dude. That's like
I'm not into the natural stuff, man. Process my shit. Come on.
dude,
Put some
ayahuasca.
additives and chemicals. Put some strange shit that are byproducts and preservatives. As many additives as you can throw in there, and I am a happy camper.
Okay, they say. Tell me if you agree with this. Mushrooms are round, and LSD is square.
Now, I have had sugar cubes melt in my pocket that come out spherical, but that's only because, I've had 8 or 10 of them melt in my pocket. So generally, I'm going to say, yeah, LSD usually comes in square tabs or sugar cubes and occasionally other pin-poked things. And mushrooms are kind of kind of phallic at the top. There, you've got skin and this phallic looking head to it. And, yeah.
Okay, for another facet of that, for effect, how would you look at in effect wise? Mushroom round, LSD square, effect wise. Yes. Okay. Interesting. Okay. I heard other people say that too.
Yeah, it all depends on how many grams of mushrooms you eat, as opposed to how many micro. I forget the micro measurement of LSD per piece of square or sugar cube, generally done on a tack paper, and it's generally pinned into to a sugar cube. But I'm not sure of the particular dosage on that. I just know how many it takes to throw into my cereal in the morning for me to start seeing properly.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Yeah, things are real blurry in the morning when I wake up.
Man, I bet you've seen some things. That's an understatement. Sheesh.
Yeah, I've seen a couple things. I've seen the Grand Canyon. I've seen the ocean. I've been through the Appalachians.
You ever
I've
see the
been
floor
through
disappear from under you?
daily.
Daily. Oh, sheesh. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I've had to learn to walk on air for years now. Like I said, I've been doing this a long time. I have a Christ-like movement to me when it comes to walking on air now.
Oh. Oh.
How about yourself? Any personal favorite serial killers or indulgences that get you going in the morning?
Nothing. Not even remotely close to hypothetically you. You know. Like. I don't know. Maybe kratom. You know, kratom helps relax me. You know, calms the nerves. But that's not even remotely close. Like, you know.
That's like the aluminum foil of metal. You know, I
Yeah.
mean,
Exactly.
there's metal heads, and then there's aluminum foil. You know, but hey, I give you credit for trying. You know, everybody's got to start somewhere. Just as every fledgling serial killer. Oh, by the way, did I tell you the auspiciousness of today is the day 1 year ago that my son was picked up for murder one charges.
Oh shit.
Yes, he is accused of killing a police officer's dad. He is in the Steuben County Jail, and his trial begins the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of next month.
Any evidence? Any evidence of that or?
A dead body.
Dead body. Yeah, that doesn't tell me nothing. Well,
Well, he was sitting in a relaxed position with 7 bullet holes in his head. So, take it for what you will.
yeah, and so there's no witnesses. You got nothing.
Yeah, it is what it is. But, I was thinking, damn, if she, he gets found guilty, I may have to put him on my list of role models, idols, and heroes.
Yeah. Once I mean, it'd be fitting, in terms of people that had unfortunate things happen.
Unfortunate. No, that's a craft. How do you leave a man in a relaxed position with his cell phone still firmly in his hand with 7 9mm rounds in his head? That is an art. And you did this, apparently, whoever done it, while the door was locked. I'm thinking, that's art.
I mean,
that is Andy Warhol level art. No. I'm sorry. That's an understatement. Andy Warhol. Okay, that's maybe the Charles Manson kind of. He's got a lot of popularity, but he never really killed anybody. Who was a good legend killer? I don't know, maybe one of those assholes from Canada. You know, they don't have a very high kill rate, but they are definitely good at their art. They have some numbers.
In my opinion, one of the best among that crowd is the Zodiac Killer. I know you heard of him.
Oh yeah, we just spoke on him, the Zodiac Killer. He played with the police for a while. He thought that was quite interesting. As a matter of fact, he had them working for him at one point in time, publishing things in the newspaper and dancing around and trying to figure out ciphers and weird codexes, which I consider directly tied to the Kabbalah because we're sticking within the realm of the Kabbalah, Zen, and commercial electricity.
Oh, okay. You can tie those in somehow. That's pretty good.
Yeah. This has got to be coherent, or otherwise, what the hell do you use to do it?
Yeah, it's great. It's a great mental exercise to be creative, in my opinion.
Well, I'll tell you what I've observed so far from this endeavor and this deep dive into the auspiciousness of this day is that people have low thresholds and safety protocols. As a matter of fact, their thresholds and safety protocols are set so low that if you discuss drugs, serial killers, metaphysics, Canadians that are commercial electricians, and Zen, they immediately remove themselves from the chat and are no longer visible on the channel. Wow, that means that's some very closed-minded people who obviously aren't capable of taking down their safety protocols and experiencing a more dynamic state of mind.
And to add to that, simply put, it'd be people that, in my opinion, might have had their imagination beaten out of them, through the public school system.
Oh, you mean the indoctrination camp?
There you go. Yes. Yeah. That's more.
Yeah.
succinct. Yes.
Yeah. Weren't those started by Hitler? Some kind of camp like that?
Prussians. It's from the old Prussian school system. Not Russian, but Prussian with a P. Germany.
Oh.
Germans actually. Yeah. Prussians.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Prussian Empire.
I imagine there was a lot of
Germans invented that. Thank you, Germans.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. They created a lot of good things.
Germans are master genius, man. They need to keep a tight leash on Germans and those Slavs and stuff. Those types. Otherwise, Vikings. Otherwise, they'll get out of hand if they're not monitored closely. You know what I mean?
Well, see, I have a theory about that. I think that if you ascribe to the Christian Bible and some of the Maccabean writings that were found in Coeur and you also ascribe to the African Orthodox, which recognize the Book of Enoch, you'll see that there were fallen angels who apparently decided to have sex with females of the human species. And they bred this strange breed of offspring that was half demigod, half human. And apparently some god got pissed off and decided he had had enough, grabbed a few people, had them build a boat, tried to drown and flood the whole fucking world out. The guy lands on the boat, starts all over, and by God, what does it say? And there were Nephilim afterward. So I consider that white people with red hair, blonde hair, green eyes, or blue eyes are probably heavily saturated with the DNA of Nephilim.
Well, I mean, the white people, they're they are the, or at least they used to be, and they're getting worse. But I mean, still pretty high up there. They're the most industrious people on the planet by far. That's not bragging. That's a fact.
Hold on. Now we got to catch up here. I have been informed here lately by not only the school system, but by PBS and various other locally funded networks, that the Afro-American or the black race are responsible for at least 70 to 80% of industrial society. And as a matter of fact, they occupied the Americas long before the Native American.
You mean
You didn't know this?
The Indians? You mean?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we're actually Western Indian, not East Indian.
I didn't. I thought it was. Okay, that's news to me. I thought it was just the Indians here for the longest time, not the. I didn't know that the blacks were before them.
Well, neither did I. My dad being Appalachian Cherokee, my mom being Scandinavian, me being something in between a Nephilim, a Asiatic, and whatever other things were squirted and shot in holes and places that should have been aborted and spit out. I was brought into existence. And not once have I been to either the Eastern or the Western Band Cherokee Nation, and I have traveled not on foot, on wheels, the Trail of Tears, in which the Cherokee and the Creek Indian were marched down, and I'm not finding it, but I'm not disputing it. If they say so, I guess it happened.
Yeah. Are there? I don't know. Did you ever? I mean, if you wanted to do like a deep dive on something like that, I think it might be wise to see if you can find any old journals from the not Indians, call them American natives or something. What'd you call them? American. Well, what'd you call them?
Native Americans, which
Native Americans. Yeah, you used to do a deep dive on the Native Americans. See if you can find some old Native American journals.
Well, that's funny you should say that.
Story, not just the white man's side,
Because
get both actually.
Mostly on the Western Band Cherokee Nation, there's a lot of documented history and photographs and memorabilia. Before the casinos, they had tourist division areas on the reservations, and if you held a federal number, you could be on a reservation. And if you had any native rights whatsoever, which if you take your native rights, that means you denounce your American citizenship. So for all those people who stand up and scream, I'm a Native American, Blackfoot, Apache, Choctaw, Iroquois, Comanche. Yeah. Okay. You're an American. You've got a social security number. Now you got a MAC address. So It is what it is with that. But, dreamers will dream. They showed no history of any Buffalo Cowboys or Buffalo Indians in any of the photographs and pictures that I've seen.
Yeah, what?
Huh. Yeah. It's just fascinating.
You could be like one of We the People. You don't necessarily have to be. You can claim to be one of We the People. You don't have to necessarily be a 14th Amendment citizen. Just for your FYI.
Yeah. I took that into consideration, but I do enjoy my retirement benefits.
Oh, you get a handout check from the government? That's cool.
No. I retired from the music industry.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to be one of We the People, they would take that away from you?
It's a potential, yeah, and especially more so today than any other time.
Oh, okay. That sucks. Wow.
Yeah, and if you take your federal numbers and become a fully registered federal Native American, you are no longer an American citizen, and you will get a severance check. You will have reservation rights, and you will be probably a Ford drunk in a matter of a year or two.
Yeah, those Indians, not Indians. God, I gotta quit saying that. Native Americans, they don't make out too well. You know, a lot of them have drug abuse problems and alcohol. You know.
Until you hit the casinos. Seems like those guys in there are pretty sharp, man. You know, they don't much look like the traditional concept of a Western Indian or Native American or an indigenous
What do they prefer to be called? Is it what do they like
Indian.
Indians?
Yeah, that's what we
Who the hell
traditionally
disrespected them and gave
use.
them that Native American name? You know, I remember in the old days they used to call them Indians. You know, like
Well, you're dealing with a new woke society. So whether you say Native American, whether you say Indigenous American or Indian, you're wrong all three ways.
yeah,
So no
okay,
matter which way you go, you're just flat fucked.
to call them Indians then. Okay, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess it depends at that point who you're talking to, right? What they prefer.
right.
Yeah.
But if an Indian is standing next to a Hindu Indian and you say, "You Indian," they're both going to get pissed off and probably beat your ass because they were indoctrinated in one of these concentration camps somewhere along the way in the last 2 decades.
Right. So,
But
so go ahead.
I'm always down for learning new history. Completely down for it, and I didn't know that I was so far off. I mean, once I realized exactly how far I was completely off about my history, my heritage, or my lineage, even the Scandinavian dramatic part of it, um, I've just been searching for knowledge ever since then. Just reaching and grabbing. So I'm a sponge.
Here's something that the blacks don't like to mention, or they don't mention it. I don't know why. Did you know that the Barbary pirates of North Africa, who were black people, they actually owned white slaves, and a lot of them? Did you know that?
That's what I heard. I
Yeah,
actually
they're black, dude.
heard that.
They used to go up and raid European lands and take slaves, white people. Yep. So blacks, they owe the whites an apology for being so evil to them, and hypocritical, calling them all kinds of names. You know what I mean?
Well, I would agree with you, except I follow natural law, and I tend not to apologize. I tend to just take an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.
Oh, okay. So just know that the blacks aren't as innocent as they like to make themselves out to be.
Surely you jet. Are you saying that I was misinformed? The great Axis Rattblood?
I wouldn't say you were misinformed. I say you were malinformed.
Oh, malinformed. There's a malinformed, misinformed.
They're only going to give you a partial truth. They're not going to give you the whole thing. Malinformed. It's like a malfunction.
Oh, okay.
It only works a little bit.
Man, I am learning at the pace of a runaway train with you. You are probably one of the most knowledgeable guests that I've had in a long time. And you are schooling me, and I am digging the flow. We are on it. We are on it. We are on it.
Yeah, so that's the thing, you know. If a black ever says, "Oh, you evil white people," you know, you enslaved us, and you did the same thing, bitch. You, excuse my French. You did the same thing. You actually the Barbary pirates enslaved more white people. They enslaved more whites than the whites enslaved them, the blacks. Yeah.
Well,
So you
I
want to
don't
start?
really have
You want
a
to start doing
dog in that fight
counting
because
numbers?
my mom is. Well, my mom was.
White people get a credit and they're owed money if you want to play that game. You know.
Well, my mom was Scandinavian, you know, and she comes from also a Germanic root. I'm not sure how many of them were actually slaves. And as far as my dad's heritage, um, no, they just took us on a long walk to Oklahoma and dumped us off. So, uh, um, well, yeah, they took us out of the Appalachians and decided that we would be better suited in Oklahoma, and they gave us some uh, less than productive land that we had to recultivate, and some renegades actually came back and reestablished the Eastern Band Cherokee Nation. But you know, I'm not even I'm questioning that now. You know, I'm not sure because I've been told different.
Are you enough percentage Cherokee to maybe get some Cherokee land or something like that?
Um, Forefather land. Yeah, well, you know,
I mean, as a benefit,
adoption.
Prior or anything, it's just maybe like a benefit, you know, possible benefit.
Probably could if I was to jump through the hoops and you know want to deal with the bureaucracy and try and fight with the adoption agencies. I'm sure that I was adopted to my grandmother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, there's something about being a drunk Indian and a drunk Scandinavian that causes them not to want to raise their children.
Not a good combination, man. I can tell you that right now.
Well, apparently not good child rearing, because I was immediately given to my grandmother for adoption, and I did not take on my grandmother's last name. I got to keep my given name, but was fully and completely adopted. And they fought for a year or two, and they were in Liberty, Kentucky. Things went south. I think the bottom of the bottle finally went dry, and they went their separate ways.
Ran out of money.
So that's just the story of that. But I found myself in better favor later on whenever I discarded any interaction with those people and wound up with a music career and an entertainment career. So I was much more fortunate than most.
That's right. You're a singer, right? Weren't you? Or
lead guitar singer.
Lead guitar singer. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Some people should sing, and some people should not. That's my conclusion. Okay. You know.
Oh, I understand. You know, that's my voice is nothing like it used to be. I put a couple tracks from my first band that I was in, hair band back in the day, as we were transitioning over to the digital industrial movement, which was Wax Trax Records out of Chicago, and I eventually wound up with Phil Colt on the '94 Sexy Ball tour, and from there I was able to make my claim to fame.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's like a rare thing, you know. Like not everybody can really do that. You know what I mean? It's not like a common thing.
Well, if it wasn't for Bill Behringer at Spotlight Productions, it never would have happened. But Bill Behringer at Spotlight Productions, I happened to be, I owned a Essendon and Bondage leather distribution and was doing Essendon and Bondage shows at the time. And he called and said, look, here's what's going on. And Thomas Thorne was no longer with Wilco Colt, and he had started the Electric Hellfire Club, and things happened, and I was on what Wilco Colt called the worst tour that they ever done. But for me, it was the greatest experience and tour that I was ever on because it launched my ability to further my career.
I mean, you had a good time, right?
Oh shit!
Okay,
yeah.
there you go. Great for you. You know?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely wonderful. Would not have traded it for anything. Awesome. I got on the it was the Lords of Acid, Joe Soul Cult, God Lives Underwater, Ecstasy Ball Tour, 1993-94.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that was a good year, 94. Oh man. I remember that year.
Yeah. It was,
graduated high school, you know. Yeah. Good old days, man. Those 90s. Oh man. I think the 70s had a little bit better music, but I mean the 90s are pretty good too, you know. The metal scene and stuff.
Well, I tell you what, growing up as I was born in 1970 and growing up in the 70s, it just seemed to be easy going. You know what I mean?
It was more less commercial, you know what I mean? It was like more geared to the artists, I think. They could be more creative, you know? That's what I see in the 70s.
Just as a child, yeah, music is just awesome. I'm not going to even complain about the music. I mean, even up until around, 87, 88, music was just absolutely incredible.
And don't you think the artists had more freedom back then in the 70s than they, you know?
Yeah, they started becoming overproduced in about 90, 96, 97, and by the year 2000, they were completely engineered, designed, and executively produced for career-oriented products by people that they could just stamp a name and a look to.
Yeah, nowadays it's pretty nice. A lot of these artists, they have their own equipment, you know, so they're not bound to anybody, you know.
That seems to be a facet of the technology that we are available to. I've taken advantage of it. I think I've got maybe 60, 70 songs. Some of them just playful demos. Some of them are actual endeavors. It's just the freedom and liberty of being able to express my own individual creative rights without being under the heavy-handed drill of a record company, a contract, a label, a A&R, a you can do, a you can't do, and a you got to represent or we will bankrupt you, and any way you're going to leave the industry with a drug habit, owing them money, and you're lucky if you get your guitar to go with you.
Sure.
How's that?
You got to pay back that loan too, huh?
Oh, everything.
Yeah.
And none of it's free. None of it's free. Even on the road, you may pay the price for the girl you had that night. It may not be that night. Could be down the road. I'm fortunate in that area, but you could have something fall off or start rotting or bizarre welts and bumps and things
Getting
happening
flamed.
that.
Yeah, kind of thing. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Jeez. Yeah, it's yeah, so you have this freedom, nowadays. Like you said, I mean, they can't tell you anything when you self-produce. That's what
No, not
Megadeth
at
did.
all.
That's what Megadeth did, and with their two last albums, they did their own stuff in their own studio, 100%, and they controlled the contracts and everything, and they got a reward, and they got an award, because the leash was off of them, they had full control.
Well, I tell you what, if they have control over the master, the press master recording, and it belongs to them, anything that is sold from that can be collected on by whoever is in control of the masters.
Oh wow, yeah, I think Mustaine
Yeah,
of Megadeth, I think he holds the masters, because they
because
said they.
when you become a band, you become a corporation, a subsidiary of a corporation. You have to have a head of the corporation, which is usually the leader of the band or the more prominent musically talented person in the band becomes the head of the corporation or the most business savvy, and then everybody else falls in line and takes their percentage.
Oh, okay.
And it also saves on a lot of if you've got your own studio, you're saving incredible amounts of money on that. Engineering, if you've got an engineer, you got to pay your engineer. If they had one, then they save that charge. I mean, price.
Knowing Mustaine, Dave Mustaine, he would make a contract, like a one-time contract with an engineer that's not perpetual. Find somebody that's pretty good.
Not
Pretty
bad. Not
shrewd
bad
guy.
at all.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, they got an award, like for that, their album that they did for self-produced. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, I
like the freedom aspect of it. Like.
Well, my daughter is on tour right now. She's with a group called. She's actually the lead singer and flutist for Casually Committed, and they are based out of Colorado. And they just had their first press release and their first single.
Oh, awesome! Wow.
Yeah. So I'm extremely proud of her.
Yeah, that's stuff not easy to do, man. Well, as you know, who am I to say that to you? But I mean, I can imagine what goes in that kind of stuff. It's not. Yeah, I mean, so good for her. That's awesome.
Yeah. She keeps in touch with me. Not as frequently as I would like, but I do understand completely. And, she's not trying to live under any image or shadow that I presented, but only the endeavor into the art. And I thought that was pretty awesome, especially when she came across with what she was doing, how it was being done, and I was able to give her a little bit of advice, but I tried to retain as much of that so that she wasn't hand-fed into that. She could develop her own sense of self-style and stage presence. And so far, man, I've got a couple of clips from a couple of shows they've done on my videos.
Oh, that's cool.
And I
You made her
enjoy
go
the music.
you made her go the tough route to get her like strong, you know, and that's awesome, you know.
Yeah, yeah. There's too many, especially in my genre and the age of music that I come from. Uh, friends helping friends into the industry, family traditional lines into the industry, even close associates into the industry, and it seems like for the Chicago scene and the Wax Trax record scene, it was just one big happy fucking family.
They had it. Yeah, they
No,
had it nice and tight, huh? Like,
yeah, no disrespect to Wax Trax records, at all.
mm. I mean, yeah, yeah, I don't know what to say about that, you know, but in one sense, I can see
It
that.
is,
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know.
it is what it is. You know, it was an endeavor. It was an experience. Um, you know, I was just lucky, fortunate, whatever. Um, talent, maybe, could be. But I had a great time, and I'm glad that my daughter is endeavoring and persevering. And I am in the middle of two extremes.
And she actually likes it.
One,
Huh? She enjoys it. Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. Well,
Awesome.
this is her second year and her first year of doing venue shows.
I'm glad she found something she likes. You know, she actually likes
Yeah,
it. Yeah, that's wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm torn. I got today, which is it still today? Yes, it is still today.
Yeah,
So
eight
we're
37
still,
Eastern. You know, so
yeah,
yeah, still today.
yeah. So it would be October 12th was when my son was apprehended for a crime of murder one, and my daughter had just flown into town from Colorado. We got through the door of the house. My son's face was on TV. My daughter turned right back around, went to the airport, and went home.
Oh, well, you got
That's
glad you got to
exactly
hear. You know, it's like
but
that's
for a
always
minute. Yeah,
cool.
for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't come here for the drama. She come here for the visit and the time away and to be able to spend time with family. But I'm serious. No sooner than they got through the door, there it was,
Bye,
and
Daddy.
that was 1 year ago today.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's a memorable day today, man. Jeez. Mm.
yeah, October 12th last year.
Yeah, 2023. Oh man.
Yeah. Steuben County. Yep, and that's why I've kind of taken tonight and allowed myself to let loose and have some fun at other people's expenses who sometimes take themselves entirely too seriously. And I can tell that by the chat and some of the interesting, intelligent comments that were dropped, left, and administered, and by people completely falling wayside to their safety protocols and avoiding these topics and interactions completely. So I'm thinking we do not have very many broad-minded people on YouTube anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I know you agree with this. I know you agree with this. you don't have to accept. You don't have to accept an idea to entertain it. You know, to entertain an idea, you don't have to accept it. You know, I mean, come on, use your
Well, the
imagination.
curious part is for anybody to have any concept of how I generally run any of my live streams, and then to encounter this and take it with any type of, I guess, anything but passive nature of just the enjoyment of spoofing,
Yeah,
the, they're lost anyhow.
it's
So
like a ghost. You know,
they
like
have,
like you know, don't put much stock into it. You know, like come on. It's just, I can if you want, I guess.
right.
But it's just,
Well, obviously they have. I mean,
yeah.
you know,
Why are
whenever
they?
you're,
I'm sorry.
you know, no, you're right. You're right. I'm enjoying this. I have a real difficulty with people who have safety protocols in their heads. And to explain a safety protocol to you is that point where you go, nope, I don't want to think that. I don't want to be a part of that. I can't entertain that, or that's
Oh
too
man,
much for me.
those people bug me to no end. No end. Oh man, that boggles my
Yeah,
mind. How people can be like that, you know? It's like,
well, I work really vigorously at removing safety protocols from my thinking so that I could reach broader states of comprehension, knowledge, observation, information, and it seems that it's wasted on them. So sometimes I wonder why I even bother.
well, look, I mean, there's another facet you can look at it too. By you talking about it, it's reinforcing it in your mind, so you'll be able to entertain yourself to your own thoughts privately. If you're by yourself, you'll be able to think about it. And say, yeah, or it'll reinforce it so you can talk about it later. Should you find some people who are actually interested or can tolerate, or whatever word you want to use for that, you know. So you're reinforcing it in
Yeah,
your mind. So
I like that perspective, and thank you. What I generally use that perspective for is introspective examination of the different aspects of oneself and the exploration, therefore, within. And occasionally I will come on and do a live stream and drop a few little crumbs here and there and just kind of let the show do its thing. But tonight, I decided I wanted to do my thing. And apparently it did exactly what I expected it to do.
oh wow, I'm glad it worked out that way.
Well, it shows me who's can be measured and who can't be measured. See, because if you have to drop off of something that is endeavored in this way, then that gives me the measure of you. You're a pretty closed-minded piece of shit, and you're measured by the depth of your limitations.
That's what's wrong with most people in this world. They don't have the ability
Yeah.
to expand on thoughts to the nth degree, you know, or as far as you want to take it, or whatever facet you want to take it in. Yeah, like
It's indoctrination, man. They teach you to fear shit. From the time you're born, they start shoving your head full of fear. And then when you're in school, they shove your head full of fear through control, control through fear.
Did you ever hear this one? When you're growing up, with the way you're behaving, you're going to end up working at a gas station. I know you heard that. I know you heard that one. Or something similar.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I heard some pretty interesting ones coming out of the Ohio Valley, foothills of the Appalachians, because they were pretty much just on this side of domesticated, and some of them had full sets of teeth. Um, but the majority of them were roofers and carpenters and bricklayers, and that to them was success.
Yeah, I make
You know,
make 1.5 times of minimum wage. I'm doing pretty good in life.
right.
Okay. And no, don't take that the wrong way. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. You know. Just saying,
No.
dude, you're not. You know, you're so. It's the narrow-mindedness of it. You know. It's like that's what I'm talking about. You know.
Well, it's insanely ironic that whenever you went to drive into this little town that I grew up in, it said Hillbilly Valley, and it had a guy with a jug leaning up against a barrel with a full beard, overalls, and no shoes on. And I thought, stereotyping yourself much, but you do that these days.
Everybody's too pansy nowadays. Everybody's too pansy nowadays to do that kind of thing. You know. That's another thing that
Right.
bothers me. You know?
But to us, you know, that was just a signification of our town, and we never thought anything about it. Even the school that I went to, we were called the Borden Braves, and we were represented by a Native American, and that never bothered me a bit.
That never bothered the Indians either, did it?
No, and me at
Right.
the time, and then until later on, my son went to the same school. We made up the 1%, so they could get federal funding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, can't pass that federal funding up.
Right. And if you have the goods, might as well use it. You know.
Right. So, you know, we had, I guess, by today's cultural standings, two strikes against us. One, we were exploiting the Native Americans, and two, we were downplaying the hillbilly or the redneck or the, what would be another word for that? That would be politically correct. Help me before the woke police come and get me.
Yeah, that
Shit,
just goes.
man.
that just goes against hillbillies and rednecks. You know, they don't give a crap about that kind of stuff. You know, not real ones. You know.
No, I thought it was interesting whenever
nowadays, man. Like, what? Oh my God, you know, it's like
we'd all got a kick out of me coming out of the Ohio Valley into Chicago, and they used to call me a punkabilly. And I thought that was funny as hell because there I was in my, you know, my high points, leather jacket, you know, big skull on the fucking back of it, long ass hair, you know, black eyeliner, and I was a punkabilly in Chicago. I never took offense to that.
yeah, it's yeah, this was a different time back then. You know, like when people used to assign nicknames, you know, and if you didn't like it, tough, you know, you know,
right?
Yeah, fair game. You know, it was fair game. Everybody could get a nickname. You know, yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, I never, you know, I didn't mind being called, even half breed didn't bother me, you know.
It's true. It's true. You know, like If it's true, it's true. You
That
know, like it doesn't mean
I
nothing. You know?
never punkabilly, even weirdo. I was like, yeah, you're pretty much on it. I'm a freak. No
Yeah,
shame.
at least you're not. At least you're not fit like copycat. You know, you're not copying everybody. You know, you're unique. You know, you're not being like a poser. You know, copying everybody, doing your own thing, not giving a
No,
crap.
at the time we took what was the old punk scene out of Britain that came across the waters with groups like the Sex Pistols and
Yeah,
local.
Kennedy's Black Flag.
Yeah, yeah, but I kind of swayed later on in life towards the darker side of things and went with the Skinny Puppy,
Oh yeah,
Ministry,
I remember that. Yeah.
KMFDM. Even I'm guilty of some Depeche Mode, back in the day, some thick,
Skinny
back
Puppy's
in the
one of the
day.
best. Skinny Puppy's one of the best industrial bands, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, very good band, very good band. Um, Rabies. When I listen to Rabies, man, I can still feel and remember that feeling. Viva Sec By, still love that album. Skinny Puppy Bite, Rabies, and it's just once I hit that whenever the hair band thing got its ass kicked by the Seattle Sound, and we all started getting dropped by our labels, one right after another for that Seattle Sound.
Oh yeah,
That's
Cobain
when
and
we,
the Melvins and stuff.
yeah,
Remember the Melvins?
yes, yes, yes.
They're more hardcore
We
than
took off.
Cobain, man. You know, as
Yeah,
far
we
as
took off. It went to Chicago because there was this real interesting thing happening in the Rust Belt, and nobody had heard anything like this except older stuff like Psychic TV or Gary Newman, or Kraftwerk, and there was this
Kraftwerk,
raw sound
Kraftwerk,
to it.
great man. Like the Ruckzuck, remember that?
Autobahn,
Ruckzuck,
yeah,
Autobahn, the Autobahn,
yeah,
Autobahn. Yeah,
yeah.
and they took something lame
That
and
was,
actually made it cool. You know, like
oh, sure they did, and then it went even further with the Rust Belt full-on industrial sound, which was basically engineered by Al Jorgensen, Flood, Ogre. I mean, these guys are the ones that were innovators in that Rust Belt sound, that Chicago, New York Rust Belt industrial sound. So all of us who were truly dedicated to that particular harder, aggressive style music, well, that was our only refuge for the true artists that wanted to continue to be in the business and make noise. And it turned into a love and a passion. And then suddenly, even that, after Wax Trax went down, Cleopatra and TVT come in, bought up as much as they could of the artists from Wax Trax. Then Interscope expanded that, and a lot of bands were left out on the road, left out in the street, broken contracts. It's an ugly time. And then back
yeah,
took over.
yeah, that's feast or fast. You know, it's just like the construction industry. You know, feast or
Yeah,
fast, right?
and that's what happened. Then once the whole industry was pushing rap and commercializing rap,
Oh
I
God,
couldn't relate. I just never liked.
I listened to rap for maybe a year or two, and man, I couldn't take it anymore. So I just got into metal. It's like, yeah, I'm going back to my roots. Metal, and
Right.
yeah.
I don't blame you a bit, man. Even today, I'll throw on, some Judas Priest, some AC/DC, some Black Sabbath, but I'm also liner noting with some Ministry, Land of Rape and Honey, you know. I've got some KMFDM going on.
KMFDM. Yeah, weren't they? I don't know. I was thinking. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking something else. That sounds off.
KMFDM was
Is that
one of the
Ancient Amumu, or is that no? That's something else, huh?
no. They did Godlike. Extort was probably about your era. Is when they did the Extort, but their stuff prior to that was heavily guitar riff industrial music.
Oh, okay. Like 86 is when I started really listening to metal.
Gotcha. I was it was still the 70s. I still remember my first album, man. It was Ozzy Osbourne, Blizzard of Oz. Yep. Listen, that motherfucker.
I remember this guy street from me. His name was T. He was a gardener, and remember they used to go in their garage, right? And they used to smoke pot in there. And this was when it was like it was illegal, right? and they like run Ozzy Osbourne videos, This was like in the late 70s. And I heard that music and I thought, this is so cool, because I was probably like 6-7 years old, whatever, in late 70s, and it's like man, dude, I never heard anything like it, man. Like that was like my first exposure to metal. Was like Ozzy. There were guys smoking pot in a garage, listen to Ozzy.
Well, right.
I didn't know
Black Sabbath sound is almost an impending.
Why can't all music be like this? It has such energy to it. It's
an impending doom almost, or a drive. It either wanted to make you, just put your car in fifth and down the highway, or it made you just kind of sit back and go, "Damn, man, wonder if the bombs are going to drop today, because it feels mighty eerie in here."
Yeah. I have a friend who he should listen to Black Sabbath and Ozzy and stuff, and I heard a song that it was pretty creepy by them, and he said they have worse songs than that. Like I don't know what their creepiest song is, but I heard it's pretty bad. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with them, but it's pretty hard. Like.
Let me see. Black Sabbath, off of their first album, it would have been the song Black Sabbath. It's pretty dark. Off of Paranoid, you have War Pigs and Electric Funeral. Those are a couple of darker songs, and for that era and that time. So I'm figuring that's probably around the release of Black Sabbath, the first band named track or album release, and then Paranoid. And then after that, they did Masters of Reality, Sabotage, which had some pretty dark tracks on it. Masters of Reality. Yeah, they did some pretty dark, heavy stuff for the time. Other people were listening to
like yeah.
Yeah, well, you just come out of the Vietnam War. They were trying to push this where the pre-Beatles to the newer, more mind expanding Beatles. You had the Stones. You had David Bowie. A lot of gender benders. all these different varieties and trying to shake off the concept of the conflict that we were just in. And you had vets coming home that were definitely traumatized and suffering from severe PTSD. Several uncles of mine drank themselves to death after the war. So, yeah, it was
Oh,
a pretty intense time, man.
yeah. So that setting, man, I'm sure they had a lot of inspiration from what was going on at the time. You know.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you had Hendrix. He come out with Band of Gypsies and, was doing
Hey,
dedications
you know
for
about
the
guitars?
Vietnam War.
You know about guitars? Is Hendrix a pretty good? Was he a pretty good guitar player? I mean, he sounds great to me, but as a musician, was he a pretty good guitar player?
With the pentatonic scale, yes. And with his studio critiquing for the time, absolutely. Um, he was an engineer for his guitar. He did his own engineering. That that to me was amazing. The fact that they were a three-piece band with that full of a sound was pretty awesome. And the fact that he stayed primarily to the pentatonic scale was just, and which is a blues scale, and pulls off some of the riffs that he did was pretty amazing to me.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because people always give him high praise, but I was wondering, I never really heard from like a real guitar player's perspective on it. You know what I mean? Because they would know some different. They would, you know what I mean? They could tell some difference. They would know different things to what to look for and whatnot. You know? So,
Yeah, I think one of like Are You Experienced was a really good the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Are You Experienced was a great album. Electric Ladyland, always. Axis, Bold as Love, awesome. So, those are my three major picks of the Hendrix archive.
oh, okay.
Ac-
Wow.
Axis, Bold as Love, and Voodoo Child, Slight Return, and Voodoo Child off of Electric Ladyland with a couple other tunes, and damn near everything off of Are You Experienced. And you had Zeppelin there too. I mean, which was
Yeah.
kind of Hammer of the Gods, Nordic type, which bled into another subgenre of rock. And they started out more bluesy, and Jimmy Page was really playing with scales and riffs and speed and agility on the guitar. You had Bonham on the drums, who was just thunder from the gods. Plant, who could actually sing, and John Paul Jones, who was just technically all together with his music. And they were a tour de force, you know.
Yeah. That's a. Excuse me. Wow. Yeah, I mean it's hard to find those albums that were like every single one of the songs is great. You know,
Right.
that's not an attack on the musicians, but I mean those albums are rare in my opinion. You know.
Well, generally they would sell an album off of a catch track, and a catch track was anything that could make radio airplay. Because if they
Mm.
got radio airplay, they could get the advertisement. If they got the advertisement, they could get the record sales because of the repetition on the radio.
Like
So
Metallica, "Ride the Lightning."
business.
That was a example of a great album. For almost every song was great in my opinion. Maybe.
Oh yes, Ride the Lightning, Kill 'Em All, Master of Puppets, and that's where it stops with me.
Yeah, the Black Album out. No Black Album.
Uh,
No.
What?
I exclude the Black Album. You know, that's after the.
What?
What was the last?
What?
Injustice for All was the last best album, in my opinion. Not best album, but it was the less. That was their last real metal album. Was Justice for All. After that, it sucked. You know.
Yeah, that's when their bassist wound up having his little incident in the bus.
Burton, huh? Was it Burton, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Burton.
Yeah. Same with, whenever Ozzy lost Randy Rhoads, it took him a bit to get his shit back together. I mean, Bark at the Moon wasn't the greatest album in the world, but it still had some catchy tunes, neat chops and riffs, but nothing like what he was doing with the classical critiquing that Randy Rhoads offered until he got with Zakk Wylde. And then when he got with Zakk Wylde, they started producing a more modern metal edge type music.
Yeah,
but I don't like Zakk Wylde.
You don't like his attitude, his character, his
Right, and I don't care for the Black Label Society either.
Okay. Who do you like better, Megadeth or Metallica?
Early Metallica and early Megadeth.
Yeah, I know. Good answer.
Yeah. And the first British release from Megadeth before Peace Sells was actually a damn good album. It was the one with the skull and the locks through the
I love you,
the mandibles.
Remember? I love you to death.
Yeah. And then they did Peace Sells, and the bass line in that is just a catch from hell. It's like, fuck yeah, man.
Peace Sells, but who's buying that? That's hard as hell. That sounds hard as hell, like for a guitarist, it's
the bass, man. The bass is what drives that.
Oh, okay.
If you listen to that, man, that's all bass coming in. Yeah, that's all bass, man. And then the guitar just accents that, and then boom, it takes off, and you're just like in the middle of this rage inside your head. We got
to me like a hard blues feel to it. Kind of has like a blues tinge to it, kind of. You get that feeling from it too?
From which one?
For a lot of Megadeth songs, they have like a hard binge blues tinge to it. Like it's like super hard blues. Kind of, but not really. It's got that little blues to it.
A lot of those guys started out with a guitar technique using the pentatonic scale, running blues riffs and speeding them up and trilling them and using triads to create kind of that Black Sabbath, Tony Iommi lead sound. And then eventually people started learning, there's major scales, there's minor scales, there's the minor pentatonic, the Mixolydian, and the Dorian, and then people started, well, that's where Randy Rhoads come in. He's using all these different classical scales to run these riffs. And that's what allowed him to be Yeah, it's good to see you, Maggot. I ran everybody else off tonight. If you listen to the first of the show, you'll probably understand why, but people have their safety protocols. So this guy, he seems pretty cool, man. He stuck with me through the evening, and we've been rolling, man.
Oh, that's his man. Maggot said it. Yeah, Cliff Burton is his name. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yep. Cliff Burton, the tour bus victim. Yeah, that was the The astonishing end of Metallica as we knew them.
Knew them, yeah. Did you think when Dave Mustaine was in Metallica, he was pretty good in there? I actually like Dave Mustaine better than the guy.
He was on Kill 'Em All. He was, but apparently, there's conflicting stories. I don't know. Whoever's A&R guy is speaking for them, or whatever press release is released is, whatever music critic is interviewing, it's the other guy's fault. It's always the other guy's fault. If I was interviewing, we'll say, Robert Plant, and him and Roger Waters, are feuding. Well, no matter who I'm interviewing, they're going to be the ones that didn't cause any problems. That's just A&R, and that's artist relations.
Oh, okay. Oh, man.
Yeah, they got to keep their product nice and shiny and looking good.
Yeah, I want to sell stuff, right?
Oh. Well, that's what it's all about, man. It's a business.
Yeah,
you are the product.
I agree. Yeah, that's Hey, we got Tools down here, man. Hey, how's it going, Tools?
Oh, Tools and Fools. Or Fools and Tools, man.
Yeah, come up here, Tools. Axis wants to talk to you, Tools. Come on. Come up here.
I named off a few Australian serial killers for this evening. I don't know if you caught that, but I didn't want to leave you out.
How about German serial
killers? Yeah, I noticed. Oh, they're
Can we do German serial
they're
killers?
not. Let me look and see, man. I'm sure,
one or two,
Well, I know there's at least one, maybe. Come on, man.
White people can be pretty vicious,
Yeah. Oh, no. That's a peculiar one. Wow.
You actually found a German serial killer?
No, one from India.
An Indian? Oh, boy.
Yeah. I wonder if that's a part of some yogi tradition,
Hey, type in worst of the worst serial killers if you can have a way to do that. See whose name's on top.
Absolutely. It will be a Russian. There's a particular gentleman from Russia who was such an astounding serial killer that his kill list and his technique was infinite and legendary amongst serial killers. Let's find him.
He's famous among not infamous. Famous, not infamous.
Yes. Famous. Yeah, he's still famous till this day.
So Russian is the worst of the worst?
So far.
Wow.
Yeah, here we go. What was that? Andre, and if I was Russian, I could probably say this last name, but it's Chikatilo. And he is one of the most brutal and famous serial killers to grace the face of the earth. And as a matter of fact, he is still held in the highest esteem of serial killers. And he managed to go on for quite the spree.
Wow.
Let's see what his 52 victims brutally and viciously butchered until he was caught.
Wow.
And he would sexually assault his victims. This guy was just into all the aspects. You know,
Dead
they're still good as long as they're warm.
Dead or alive or both?
Well, I'm telling you, you know, they're still good as long as they're warm. You got, you know, 20 minutes or so before they start.
Yeah, rigor
freezing
mortis
up on
sets
you.
in, right? You know, like
Yeah, they start getting cold, and you know. But if you get them right when you kill them, I imagine you still got some fresh warm blood in there, and you could probably, you know, do what you do, making an art. Yeah.
Andre's been a bad boy. Sheesh.
Either that or damn near a perfectionist.
Yeah, and yeah, from that point of view, you know.
Right? Not that I promote serial killing or anything, but you know, you do got to admire the tenacity of these guys.
Yeah, thanks.
There we go. See, we got back to the serial killers and mutilations, and we're back down to an audience that will remain with us until we remove the rest of their safety protocols, or they will lock up and go, oh, hell no, and immediately leave the channel. Maggot, I love it. He says you can keep them for a week if you can microwave them.
Oh, man.
Is that the whole body or just the sexual organ itself? You know, I'm talking like the mid-buttock torso area. I mean, because that's what I'm thinking you could fit in a microwave. You know,
It's whatever
you might add.
It's whatever he's feeling. You know.
I just find it a little unfathomable to shove the entire body into a microwave, but you know, things are possible, I suppose. And whatever part you want to use for that day, that could be an issue or an
Hey, you have to
advantage.
chop it up and build a big, huge industrial one, right?
Yeah, throw some KY to it, and apparently, you know, Maggot just gave us a great idea here, so maybe we'll inspire something or someone. The microwave torso killer.
What is
He was busted for over buying KY jelly. He was up to 5 tubes a day, and we got suspicious. Thank you for hanging with us, Maggot, because I dropped him off like flies tonight.
Sickos like us, huh, Maggot?
Right? Gotta love it, man. And then people wonder whenever they find themselves in a position where they're hearing something abstract and they go cowering away, how the government sees such control over them and how they became slaves to a system that they complain about. But yet, their little minds start to break when you speak abstractly.
That's some of the funner stuff, abstract stuff, you know? It's not so boring, you know, a lot of it. Like, I don't get that. Oh,
Well, Salvador Dali. I mean, I'm a surrealistic connoisseur of art, and some of my most favorite surrealistic art is Salvador Dali, Hieronymus Bosch. You know, some of the greats, man.
That abstract art?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of abstract, but it's more surrealistic. The abstract is more contour, light, texture, color, um, whereas surrealistic is bending the concepts of reality and actually painting that concept onto the canvas.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So, yeah, check out some Salvador Dali. I think you would enjoy him.
Salvador Dali. Okay.
Persistence of Time. Yeah, that's a very good one.
Yeah, Maggot, you got to stop talking like that, man. Attracting the heat, brother. Don't, don't get them too excited.
Uh-oh. Better slow down on buying that KY, man. Yeah, it's a pathetic shame to hear all these people during the course of the day and even towards the evening discuss their broad-minded perspective of the planet and all the concepts and philosophies and religious teachings and indoctrinations, but you start talking sideways just a little bit and the brakes come on, the safety protocols come up, and they move on. And I'm thinking, man, cattle.
I mean, that drives me mad. Like, I feel like I'm all alone sometimes because, like let's say you say something like, okay, let us figure out, like, let's say, let us figure out how not to pay property taxes, right? Let's figure out how to beat this, Let's figure out how to beat it, Don't tell me it can't be done. Let's figure out if it's possible, even, You even look? No.
Right.
You say, no, it can't be done. It's like,
well, there's some states where you don't have to pay property taxes. How are they getting away with it as compared to the states that do pay property taxes?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Oh.
If one state you don't have to pay, another state you do, what the hell's the difference here? What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, what are they
doing? It doesn't seem like an equal distribution of fair government trade.
Right. I want my turn, Where's mine? Where's yours? Where's ours?
Right. So, but I am curious as to see this last two generations as to the types of serial killers that come out of these last two generations, because they were so indoctrinated and they were so critically injected with wokeism that we should have some very creative individuals coming up.
A lot of the killers, I don't know if you call them serial killers, but I don't know. That fits a different profile, but a lot of the people going on killing sprees, I don't think that's the same as like a one-time
yeah, there's serial killers, there's mass killers, and then there's just murderers or killers, or
Okay, yeah, mass killers. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, mass killers. A lot of them are those guys who think they're girls, or whatever the hell, transsexuals, whatever.
Oh, yeah, the gender benders that are actually taking it to another level. Yeah,
those people. Yeah, a lot of those people have been mass killers lately.
I have no doubt. I mean, the conflict that has to be going on within the masculine and feminine, and then if they're taking any type of injections like hormones or estrogen, that's going to, completely throw your psychology into a bit of a spin there. You're going to be an emotional wreck.
Yeah, dude. Like, imagine if you had to get chemicals in your mind that makes you think and feel like a woman when you're trying to naturally think like a man. Imagine what that's going to do to you. Oh my God.
Back in the hair metal days when we were androgynous, that got chicks, man. and the more androgynous you look and the tighter your spandex, the more bitches you had on you. I'm not shitting you, brother. Go look it up.
Do they consider that cool, huh? Or something, whatever. I don't know. I guess girls can
Motley
like that.
Crue, Rat,
All the hair
White
poison.
Snake. Oh,
Poison?
yeah, Poison. Yeah. Bret Michaels, you think he was fucking jonesing for pussy? I don't think so.
No, not those guys. Yeah, they were trying to fend them off. Anything.
So, you know, it's just a changing of the guard, man. That's all it is. But it's also Operation Mind Crime right now because of the last two generations. Yeah, Queen's right. But it actually transpired.
Dude, you said a hell of a great album right now, man.
Oh, don't let anything intelligent come out of my mouth. We may actually get a viewer besides Maggot. And that's nothing against you, Maggot. I love having you here.
Dude,
you're great fun, brother.
That's a great album. Dude. How could you just say that without doing a little pause? For like, oh, it's Operation Mindcrime. Oh, okay. Come on. It's a great album. You know what it is? You know what it is?
It is. It's a good album, and it come into fruition.
Or maybe I'm just being biased, but I don't
No. It was a good fucking album, man. I thought they did great all the way up until they tried to pull off a Pink Floyd's Silent Lucidity thing, and then, people really went, or are they metal or are they Floyd?
Oh, okay. They had that.
Yeah.
That okay. All I know is a great album. I didn't know their mode of whatever you call it. Their character, or whatever. I don't know what you call it, but so they had that thing going on. Okay. Well, what do you think they're more like, or are they unique?
Well, I thought they had an original sound when they started out, but then I think that the bigger they got, the more that the industry was forcing them to release radio-friendly music.
Oh, that's when it turned to crap. That's when it started going into shit, huh?
What happened to Metallica?
Yeah, I'll agree. Black album, yeah, definitely. No Black album.
Enter Sandman, radio-friendly.
Yeah. It's dork stuff for dorks, That's my opinion.
Yeah, it wasn't like anything like Master of Puppets, where
Yeah, not even close.
You know exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah,
or Battery. That was a great song.
Battery.
Yeah, smashing through the boundaries. Yeah, lunacy has found me. Can I stop the battery? Yeah, man, that's good shit. But it wasn't radio friendly.
Yeah, I like the stuff that's deep track and not radio friendly better. Tend to.
Hell yeah.
Tend to.
Yeah. Generally, the first album is either going to be a hit or a miss. The second album will get you recognized, and if you haven't made it by your third album with some type of airplay or recognition, you might as well pack your guitar up and stick it under your bed and call it a day, or just play the local bar circuit.
Oh, one of those deals. Oh, okay. That's brutal, man. Ooh.
That's just the reality about it, man. They want product.
Yeah. I'm glad a lot of these bands have their own have access to equipment that they can record their own stuff and say screw you, if they don't like it,
Well, these days, because you can record digitally. See, back in those days, we were recording on 2.5-inch silver reel, and that 2.5-inch silver reel was actually the master. And when you had that engineered, then that final silver reel was the master. And with that was the master copy that held the rights to that music. and whoever owned that held the rights to that. That's why whenever Paul McCartney went in and bidded for the Beatles' music, and Michael Jackson outbidded him, immediately there was a feud. Yeah, it wasn't long after poor Michael, he wasn't around no more.
Yeah, I have no way of knowing if that stuff is true about him. I have no way of knowing, so I can't say anything about that. So
I don't know. I just know that he outbidded Paul McCartney. There was a feud, and it's Sir Paul McCartney and it's Michael Jackson. So you do the math.
yeah, probably McCartney got upset or something about that.
He was very upset. Yeah, because that was
he bought the whole catalog, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Smart, wise move, man. Jeez, money from a money standpoint. Oh my! I think he made like $100 million.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you're making residuals every day off of that. Every album sale, you're making money off of it. Every time the Beatles song is played, you're making a nickel or dime off of it. And
Multiplication. Yeah, that okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of that Beatles stuff's on rotation and radio stations and stuff.
Still to this day on the oldies and the 60s and 70s, if there is even still, I'm sure on Siri or XM or something like that, but everything I listen to now is directly from a a web-based platform or a multimedia-based platform such as YouTube or Spotify, something like that.
Oh, okay. So you have like access to commercial free stuff, or
Yeah, if I want it, I got the commercial free, and then plus, I was a part of a small genre of history called peer to peer, and
oh yeah, now they're using torrents and stuff, for that.
yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, there was a time when it was a free for all, and the internet was basically the wild west of digital behavior, and now it's the it's the gulag of YouTube and social restraint.
They have certain radio, like certain music sharing sites that are for elite people. You'd probably fit in there, like they have like super rare albums on there and stuff you can share. I don't know, like you'd probably fit in there. I don't know what the names of them are. I didn't really looked into them much, but yeah, they're out there. Like you want to get some rare album that you can't find anymore. They have sites out there for that kind of stuff.
Right.
And they
right.
they screen their members so you don't get a bunch of garbage.
Right.
So I don't know if there's like stuff that was released you can't find anymore or whatever, or you're looking for something.
Well,
Maybe.
generally, let's just say I'm covered. I don't lack in the listening department of whatever I choose to listen to.
Okay, so you have access to the deep tracks and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've got some really deep door stuff. I have the original stage performance of Celebration of the Lizard.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They have sites like that actually put stuff up that you can't find on the regular internet. You know what I mean? Like private sites and stuff that traders get on there, and
Yeah, it's the very first time that Morrison and the band did Celebration of the Lizard on stage live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. and that was Jim during kind of the peak of his poetic, artistic, shaman type endeavors into psychedelics and spirituality.
Oh, okay. Did you ever get a chance to meet Jimmy?
No.
No. Oh, okay. Okay.
No, I was way too young when he died. Oh, well, actually, all three J's: Jimmy, Janice, and Jim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. Yeah,
But it
Janet
doesn't
Joplin.
mean that I don't appreciate the music. I mean, really, you know.
Yeah, that band, the Doors, they were very pretty creative for their time, what they were doing. You know.
Yeah, they were a bit of a different, darker twist to rock and roll as they knew it. You know, it definitely shied away from the that love me do wah do shit and got
Do
into a
what?
darker, more solemn type of music.
Yeah, that's I mean, if I was around back then, that's probably what I'd be listening to. That kind of stuff. Bubblegum doo wop. Oh man, me personally, I can't stand that stuff. Some people love it, but you know.
Yeah, it's just not my thing, man. I wasn't into early Beatles. I wasn't into the '50s swing. None of that. You know, it definitely wasn't my time, my genre. I started picking up everything from about '68 on. Um, I didn't know if you were being scolded or not.
Oh yeah, my sister's running her mouth. Yeah.
Oh, I thought maybe she was like, Johnny, go to bed.
You know, it's funny. I got this piss cup, right? I put it behind the toilet so that I don't make any messes anymore by accident.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
perfect, right? Perfect. So
Right.
yeah, and then she gets mad about that and throws the piss cup away. Now she's complaining about it smells like piss in the bathroom. Okay, what do
Oh
you want?
wow.
Use your mind, you know. Solutions, think,
Well,
you know.
just
Think.
what?
You know?
Wait till she's completely asleep, piss in the corner. You know, let her smell some real piss, and then go.
There you go.
Well, the you know, what do you prefer?
Yeah, she,
The bottle, the slight
what I
smell
don't,
of piss, or raw urine?
what I don't understand is like she threw away that cup, right? But she doesn't realize that it was going for months without a problem, you know. And like 2-3 months later, it kind of starts smelling like piss again, you know. Like, you know, okay, you know,
Well,
why
if
didn't
she
she?
had to piss out of a tube, you know, sorry, we haven't grown accustomed to sitting down and squatting while we piss because we are pro experts at aiming that stream, or at least
Yeah,
we like to think we are.
unless your wife or girlfriend or whatever, or who someone else cleans it, you know, and so it's not noticeable. But you know, if they don't clean it
Or if
that
you have
often,
a girlfriend that can piss standing up,
yeah,
that
yeah,
could be an issue. Yeah.
you know, yeah. But yeah, I mean, so I got this piss cup, right? Piss in there and poured it in, you know, clean the cup out with water, you know, poured that in
Right?
the put to it, flush it, eliminates the problem. Seat's always down, you know, perfect.
Is her fucking nose that sensitive?
No,
Does
it's
she
not that.
not know what cocaine is, or you know, or at least powdered heroin, something?
Yeah,
Burning, you know, buds and sniffers out a little, open
oh
that
yeah,
sinus cavity up.
that reeks and that strong smell. Yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't know. I don't care what people think if they think that's weird. It works, you know, eliminates the problem.
Hey man,
Never, you know?
I don't knock innovation.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it really works. If you have somebody bitching at you, Get yourself like a Wendy's cup, a plastic one.
Yeah, gotcha.
Like Wendy's soda cup, a plastic one, like a 32 ounce or whatever. Piss in that thing,
Right.
pour it in. Yeah, eliminate your problem
There you
forever.
go.
Yeah, put it behind the
Hey,
toilet so
that's
nobody can see it.
innovation.
Wash it out, before you're done. Put it behind the toilet. Nobody sees it, and outside out of mind. Seats
Right,
always
right.
down, so girls never complain about the seat being up anymore. Perfect. Yeah.
Wow, that's something I haven't had to deal with for a long time. It's lifting or lowering a seat. My
Yeah, if you
seat's
ever had that.
pretty much up.
If you ever had that problem, that's a possible solution you might want to consider.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My last endeavor was just a month or so ago, and we were able to maintain equal space for about 6 months, and that was the end of that.
Yeah, I remember on Cage's broadcast.
Yeah, that one kind of hurt. That
Yeah, I remember
stung
that.
a little bit.
That even hurt me. That hurt. Like, man.
Yeah, but fuck, man. They come, they go, they come, they go, and they come and they come, and then they come again, and then when you stop coming, they go.
Word wise. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, yeah. It was what it was, but I understand because I had to start disciplining myself to lifting and lowering the seat to be respectful and mindful of her. And to me, either way, one way or another, I'm going to be sitting on a clean toilet seat where I have to wipe it down myself. But I wasn't going to put that on her. So, I understand where you're coming from, brother.
Yeah. It's not really
good.
it's not unsanitary either doing that kind of thing. It's not because it's not like the stuff sitting around getting bacteria in it. Think about this logically.
Right?
Yeah.
Not a problem. I mean, you're talking to. Well, I went coast to coast 5 times. I was a nomad and a camper.
Oh, okay. So you knew about drugs. Yeah.
Oh, fuck, man. Piss bottles, pissing, going down the highway, piss bombs out the window.
Of course.
Leave the lid off, hit the flagman.
Oh.
It becomes sport after a while.
Yeah, and you start making new techniques and get more advanced at it, more stealthy, better.
Yeah, see how many times you can bounce the bottle before you can spray him with a piss in it?
Yeah. You start creating games out of it, and competitions. No, I was kidding.
I like that thinking. Love that. Yeah, man. The legendary Ford bounce piss bottle hit.
How many times can you make it bounce without spilling?
I'll be honest with you. I even though I was tempted at times during certain traffic jams to pelt a motherfucker with a piss bottle, I restrained myself. I only use marbles and nickels.
Yes. Yes, take the gross factor out. That's respectable. Yeah.
Yeah, and it gets cars off your ass, and especially when you're driving down the highway with a propane tank attached to the ass into your truck, and somebody's riding up on you in an 18, handful of marbles will get them right off of you.
Yeah, what's that? What's the weird car picking up rocks, just kicking up rocks? Oh man, shit, better get away from him.
Right. And nickels are good too, spare change in the thing, just throw about 8 or 10 of those out, and yeah, just don't have a little respect for the guy on the 2-wheeler,
Oh yeah,
those
that
poor
man, those
guys
guys,
on the motorcycles.
they get way more leeway. Those guys, like
Yeah, well, they start to freak out when things start hitting them like that.
oh yeah, dude.
That's just pure
Oh
evil.
man, you freak out, man. Like imagine a freaking marble coming up and hitting your windshield. Ting! What the?
Well, the interesting thing is porcelain. The porcelain off of a spark plug shatters glass. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, you can bust the porcelain off of a spark plug, and if you can get some pretty good chunks of that, and you can toss them, it will completely shatter a windshield.
Oh, that's good to know.
So I've heard.
Man, the ingenuity of people is something else, like the things they come
Yeah,
up
it's
with.
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, look at these serial killers, creative motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, because they have to think like 10 steps ahead of everybody else and think hard about it too, and logically. Hard, dude. Thinking is hard, dude. You gotta, like thinking steps ahead and planning things. That can be hard, man. Like, especially if you're trying to do it without errors and stuff and without detection. Oh, every little thing.
What sparked the serial killer concept for this evening is, one, I have studied a lot of different serial killers and different techniques and stuff, not for anything other than educational purposes. But when my son was picked up for murder one, I figured it would be a fitting format for the 1 year of him being picked up and charged with murder one.
Okay, yeah.
So, you can consider that morbid or whatever, but the fact is, in my world, that's an abstract, surrealistic way of approaching the concept of having to encounter such a situation.
Yeah, that is definitely surreal for sure. Whew, wow, heavy. Yeah. I could say this. It's definitely fitting.
I thought so. I thought so because originally when I come on here, I was just going to continue reading off and paying tribute to the serial killers throughout the ages, because I do have my picks and favorites. And then I realized that there is such a profound entourage of platforms that think that they know mystery school teachings, Kabbalah, Zen, ancient mystical arts, and the state of Zen and anything that they do. So I was like, okay, let's see how this all adds up, and throw some serial killers into it for, the auspiciousness of the moment, and it turned into this.
Yeah, okay. My top 3 favorite ones in terms of creativity are number 1 would be Dahmer, Jeffrey Dahmer, Zodiac guy, and Son of Sam.
Mine would probably be Elizabeth Bathory, Albert Fish, and it would be a toss-up between the Russian guy and Dahmer, because Dahmer was
Dahmer, he was legendary, as far as serial killers go. My opinion.
Well, his concept and reasoning for it was just so profound that I had to shudder for a moment and go, well, this guy is innovative as hell. But then, as far as cream of the crop, you got the Russian guy, and all-time favorite, Elizabeth Bathory. She killed more virgins, peasants, and sub-royalties than any other aristocracy in history.
Yeah, I know Bathory.
Besides
Yeah,
Vlad. Yeah, virgin blood.
She's a Slavic Russian woman, Bathory.
Yeah, and
remember her?
Yeah, pulled the virgins apart over the bathing pool.
They called her
bathed
Princess.
in the blood.
They called her Princess something, right? Was she a princess?
I think it was Countess Bathory.
They killed her husband, right? And then she got a revenge. Now, I don't know exactly the details of that, but they killed her husband and she got revenge for it. That's how I remember that. Or was thinking of a different woman?
I think you're thinking of a different one because Elizabeth Bathory was trying to retain a youthful resilience to her, and she would bathe in virgin blood and try and retain her youth until she ran out of peasants and started getting sub-aristocracy and killing their daughters and bathing in their blood.
Okay.
And
wow, she's creative too.
And then and then you have Fish, who made furniture, lamps, and various other things to decorate his house with before he got caught.
Who was the princess?
Countess Bathory.
That.
And then Albert Fish.
Her husband. Man, there's one that you should know about. That's really Olga of Kiev. Olga of Kiev. That's what I was thinking about.
Oh, introduce me.
Yeah. Her husband Igor got killed, so she took vengeance on these people. Olga of Kiev. Yeah, you should know about Olga of Kiev. In my opinion, I think you really like it. Really like it. It's a really good one, as far as killers go. I mean, I kind of like her too, like her character, but not really. But I mean, you gotta.
I like to look at him as biological artists. I'm sorry. Yeah, biological artists. That's okay. That's okay. Everybody's got their medium. I'll definitely check her out. She should be on my index of biological artists and abstract designers.
See if I can drop you a link for that. Yeah, you need to know about this one. It's one of these. It's one of these interesting ones.
Good deal. Good deal.
I mean, it's a good story behind it too. I mean, I admire her vengeance. I'm not that I'm for vengeance or anything, but I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but she
there's righteous justice. How about we call it something like righteous justice, or righteous anger, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, Old Testament Torah. We could go on even further.
There you go, Olga of Kiev.
Thank you very much. Awesome.
Yeah, Russian, not Russian. It's like a Norse princess. kind of like Slavic kind of thing.
Right,
Slavic,
right.
Norse, that kind of deal. Yeah.
Right. Well, that goes back to that whole concept I had, man. You know, I think if you believe in any of that scripture stuff, man, you know, it even said there was Nephilim afterwards, and I'm thinking there's genetic bloodline of some really half fucked up people out there.
Yeah, what happened is, from my understanding, is the sons of men. I don't know if they were angels or another creature of mankind, but the sons of God came down and mated or had babies with the daughters of men. It said, and they
Right.
created the men of renown. You know, the giants, the men of renown.
Heroes of old. Yeah, and
Men
then
of
if you
renown.
read about it in Enoch, the book of Enoch, it actually goes into the whole storyline of how there was 200 of them that come to Mount Hermon. They all made a pact and they agreed upon it. Took the wives of the daughters of men, wound up giving birth to the Nephilim. God got pissed off, flooded the fucking place, and even with the people that were saved, that genetic line carried over because there were Nephilim after the flood. So, you know, and I'm thinking, what does an angel need with melanin?
Yeah.
It's not like the sun's gonna burn their ass or anything, you know. So what, you know? And if we come from a nocturnal or a subterranean area, our eyesight would be definitely stunted. Probably our adaptation would have been stunted as opposed to surface dwellers. So, leaves one to wonder.
Yeah, you have like bigger, maybe you have like bigger pupils or something, you know, to let more light in.
Right, right, right. You know, you take some of the descriptions out of the Book of Enoch, um, from Methuselah all the way up to Noah, and you start seeing some pretty interesting parodies to the old Caucasian there.
Interesting. Huh. Yeah, like I said, the Caucasians, they're the most industrious or inventive types of people in the world. Even more than Asians and stuff, you know.
Well,
so I mean, there might be some kind of link there, like higher intel. I don't know. I'm just saying that, but it's probably like watered down intelligence, you know, like because like who made the Great Pyramids, you know? Maybe those men were renowned, right?
Could be. I mean, you know, you got Nebuchadnezzar, Gilgamesh from Babylon, and apparently that was so profound that God had to diversify the languages to keep them from working as one unit, because he even got a little nervous, or the Elohim got a little nervous.
Yeah, the Elohim said, whatever they put their mind to, they'll be able to accomplish. That's how advanced they got. So there's some us people, man. When we put our minds to stuff, we're pretty smart, man. Pretty damn smart, yeah.
Innovative, yes, innovative.
Yeah.
State of the art is state of the mind.
So that kind of makes me wonder, because nowadays they have the ability to basically they have like these translators, so it's a lot easier to talk to people. You can do it with your phone nowadays, you know, like speak right in and it'll tell you in their native language what it's saying, you know.
Yeah, I keep one phone in German, one phone in Latin, and then I got my phone that I operate from as my StreamYard. But I've got both of the apps for the Runic and the Dead Latin. I just got to get them to start working with StreamYard.
Hmm. Yeah, some nice resources to have. So,
Yeah,
powerful.
I was able. I spoke German fairly well and fairly fluently. Probably forgot more than I remember, but
You could probably pick it up pretty fast though if you like started. Um,
it is. It's starting to click with me again because I'm seeing the parallels in the English language, and I'm remembering a lot of the words that I had forgot the enunciation on, and then the Latin is as close as I can get to dead Latin, which is unspoken, and unless you're in a cathedral, Catholic cathedral. But even at that, I'd like to be able to plug in that uh, unspoken Latin and the runic.
yeah, they say English is what is called a in the Germanic family of languages. This is Germanic language.
A lot of it's derivatives. Yeah, it's fairly easy language to learn too because of its derivatives. I mean, I
Mm.
can sit here and like das Dicken Titten, big tits. You know, any of it will dein Hands kriegen, dein Haus und mein Sons and dein Essen holen. That's I want to put my hands around your throat, my dick up your ass.
Gee, yeah. So is that the same subject verb agreement? Is it like the same in English?
Well, there's once you get past the feminine, the masculine, and the neutered form of it, the dis, die, and der, um, you start catching on pretty quick.
Mm. Yeah, they have a subject and a verb, just like English, huh?
Yeah, but theirs is a little more strict in the masculine, the feminine, and the neutered because of the pronunciation of them, of the word in the masculine, the feminine, and the neutered, or in English, you got a bastardized form of slang, and then you've got proper grammar English, then you have traditional English.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like proper English the best. That's the easiest for me to read.
Yeah, once you get into that, that proper this, thou, thy, these, um, it gets a little taxing. That's why I throw such a sway at the King James Bible. I'm like, that's pretentious as fuck.
Oh, that's old English, isn't it? I thought you were talking about proper
Yeah,
English.
yeah, Victorian English, Old English, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking Victorian. Yeah, King James is Victorian English. The secession from the Catholic Church into
I mean, Old English is pretty rough, but it's not that rough, There's a few different words that are kind of scraggly, but it's not really that hard, Thee, thy, thou, thou.
Yeah,
like that kind of stuff. But
it's borrowed. The today's traditional language in English is borrowed from damn near every language. There's some derivative of another language in modern English, from Spanish to German.
Is it
Old
English more
heavily. Yeah, old Victorian, old English, and even prior to is more structured. That would be Shakespearean type of English.
Oh man,
with a structure.
Shakespearean English is tough for me, like sometimes, man.
Yeah, so That's why it's pretentious. You know, even German with the masculine, feminine, and neuter can become pretentious if you're trying to speak, and you wind up just kind of slurring out because fuck, man. And that's the same with trying to read the King James with me. I'm like, you know, this is like having 15 cock piercings when you only really need two.
Oh, okay, yeah. Saying instead of just putting it simply, you gotta like dance around and flower it all up and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, I
And
mean it's
then,
got like an artistic style to it, I guess you could say. Uh, but is it really necessary? I mean, if you're going for that, I guess. But
well, I
it
think
has
we
more
get by
class.
quite
That's
well
for sure.
without it.
Wouldn't you say it has more class though than this modern stuff?
Oh, well, I mean, if you, yeah,
By far.
absolutely. It's going to be more prestigious, and it's going to be more prestigious in its presentation. That's why, you know, trying to read Shakespeare and Old English or even, you know, the King James, you're, well, fuck, man. By the time you get through a chapter, your brain's going, the fuck, man. Another this, die, or they, or thou. I'm going to throw this fucking book in the fire. Which
Thou art,
I have
you know,
several times.
for thine, you know, like yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather just say, yeah, you will, I will, we will.
Right. Be more direct, you know. Well, I'm not more direct, but yeah.
And then
It's
we've
more
got
poetic, like more
something
flowery,
that,
you know, like
well, we also have slang, American slang. That's what makes our language so hard to learn is because we've added so many colorful concepts to the wording.
oh,
You know,
okay.
where other language don't contain as many slang or um, ex, ex, explicit type vulgar language. We've
You know, somebody
gotten
that's trying to
quite
learn English,
creative.
would it be better to teach them Old English first?
Oh man, you know, in this day and age, I would start with to tell you the truth, a keyboard and a general English learning language set, and just put them in front of the keyboard, and maybe have a translator program that will allow them to translate into uh, what would be considered more modern, but still yet phonetically proper and structured English.
Oh,
Or if
okay.
they want to learn a certain type of English, then just put in the program and start developing your language dialogue and phonetics and accent and stresses from that, because that's what I had to do with Dead Latin. It's that's another pretentious language, but it's a powerful language. That's what I do most of my summoning, ritualistic, and various other works in.
Hmm. Yeah, it's like more direct, I guess, more exacting.
Uh, yeah, it seems to work better. It seems to carry a nuance to it that maybe it's just the mystique of the language or how much emphasis you're putting into that language that creates what it is. But if you want to go back to, you know, some of the fundamentals of language like Paleo Hebrew, um, cuneiform, even Hebrew, those languages are a little a little more difficult because you have so much that can be expressed with one single icon, letter, or word, depending on
Oh,
how it's phrased in a sentence.
okay. Wow, I didn't know that. That would, wow. Yeah, that's
So I try to stick to being able to deal with something I can juggle instead of, I've already burnt my brain out on multiple varieties of illicit substances through the years, so I'm not interested in a lot of the diversity that I'd like to get into, such as Hindi.
yeah. Something's a little easier going.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not ready to take on Hebrew or Hindi. I am familiar with the English version of like the Vedas. I do have the concept of Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma, and the aspect, um, uh, Ganesha, um, various other deities that I've even written songs on in my videos uh, as tribute to some of the more well-known and some of the lesser-known deities in the world of Hindu.
Hmm. Yeah. Shit. Huh. I was gonna tell you something, but thought slipped my mind.
That's all right. The only reason I got when I was first institutionalized, um, one of the therapists there introduced me to a book, and I wound up buying the book on the day that particular. It was Yogananda, the day he died, and it was autobiography of a yogi, and that was a very inspiring book for me to endeavor into the Hindu philosophy, meditation, yoga, and various other things at the time to help my mental health and to be able to recover. And then later on in life, I found how it was applicable to just my everyday being. And now it's just a fundamental part of my life.
Pretty robust in there, huh? That stuff.
Yeah, actually, if you can get into the Vedas and the Rig Vedas, um, man, they're not only is their philosophy, their history, their culture, and their ideology of deities and aspects, and the way that energy works, flows, universal, their cycles, their system cycles over relative reoccurrences. It's amazing, man. Those guys had their shit together, and I would put them into at least, if not further than what would be considered Samaria, at least an equal to Samaria.
Yeah, I heard of the Sumerian tablets before.
Yeah, the cuneiform, the Anunnaki tablet, the King's List, and Inky, Enlil, and the Enuma Elish and the creation story.
They say people that learn it say it's a beautiful language. Is ancient Greek. Ancient Greek.
See, I haven't heard fluently or even half-ass spoken Sumerian, or I if the language was spoken in front of me, I wouldn't recognize. I'd probably take it for some dialect of maybe Mid Eastern or something of that nature, possibly.
Mm.
But yeah, Greek. I mean, that's an artistic language too. You know,
If you
very
could learn
artistic.
ancient Greek, man, you'd have access to so many texts, you know, out there. Oh man. Like,
Right?
well, I mean that's true for a lot of
Right.
languages, but you know what I'm saying though. It's one of the heavy duty ones, you know. Like
That. Well, I found that in Latin. Latin. A lot of your higher, and I hate using the word higher, but your high magic for that particular time frame, and more your esoterics was written in Latin, and even recorded history in Latin. And I actually learned it for the ability to read incantations. Uh-oh, I lost my guess. Oh, Angela. Give him a second to see if he returns or not. Well, we'll see if we can press a couple safety protocols off of the remaining couple and give him time to return. And if he does not, then I suppose we'll take it from there.
Possession. The physical act of taking over a person's body. Possession. 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 The physical act of taking over a person's body.
Well, I would like to thank those of you who were able to lower your safety protocols and endure. All the rest of you, broaden your horizons. you fall short of expectations. Thank you for joining the show. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to my guests. And Access out.